All right, you guys, Lance Stevenson and Lay, the TNC ref, had got into an altercation. We're going to show you guys what happened and give our unbiased thoughts on the situation. Wait, did he? Oh, he didn't call a foul. Oh, he called him out of bounds. Oh, my God.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Lay has officially quit. He walked off. Lay has walked off. He's done reffing. Oh, my gosh.
Fuck out of here, nigga. Don't cheat, nigga. Like, come on, man. Come on. Where's the accountability at? He's cheating. Where's the accountability at? He's fucked up.
Lay was hot.
Okay, fellas. Let's discuss this. Mills, tee it off for us.
I didn't realize he was that. I thought he just went away. I don't remember he said that. All right, so let's break down the situation. First of all, just to give context, I think if this happens game one or day one, first few games, I don't think Lay has hit his boiling point. I think the context is important that when we do these seasons, there's like 6 hours of straight games. You go right into the next one, and it can be a little bit mentally taxing, no doubt. I think by now we're on day 2 in that game.
Yeah.
And we're a few games in, but I do think that that context is important because I don't think Lay would have taken his shirt off or whatever and quit if that was like game one.
To me, it's one of those situations where, to piggyback on what Mills said, if this is day one, it doesn't really happen. But I do want to say this: it's time for a TNC official rule book. Like, it's too much gray area into what a player can do, what a player cannot do, what a ref should call, instead of just it being like his personal opinion on what the thing should be. Like, it should be like a rule book on call this when this happens. If disrespect happens, do this. I think there needs to be some more black and white in TNC because it's becoming a more professional league. It's no more YouTube. It's YouTube still, obviously, but it's a league within that. Then, like, it needs to be written in black and white so the refs, players, coaches could know.
Yeah, and I think most importantly, there needs to be a bottom line. Like, what does Lay do? What does he do? Does he dish out a tech? Does he just dish out 2 techs? If he gets 2 techs, is Lance now thrown out of the content for the rest of the time? We don't find people. So how can you hold the framework as a ref for the gym? Like, how do you hold people accountable? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think we need to figure out. If we come across this situation again, and obviously people are getting paid to be there and things like that, you don't necessarily want to just throw them out. So I think in this space, there's a gray area. So my question to y'all is, how do we handle that? What is the bottom line? How do we deal with this gray area of content basketball?
I think the interesting thing is there's, I think, a multitude of ways to handle it. But it's just, how do we attack it? Because it's such a gray area, like you said. And the reason why I said it is because in the moment when you look at it, we're sitting there like we're just as shocked as everybody else. I'm sure Scotty and Friga and Grayson, all of them are too. But I do think maybe one of them should have stepped in immediately and said something. But when you're in the moment, of course, hindsight's 2020. We all see it now. But in that moment, it was kind of just like, whoa. Even Meach maybe could have said something towards Lance. I don't know. But definitely a rule book should be established because come June 6th, when Lance and Bees are playing, it's going to be very high intensity, very like an emotional game. There's a lot of money on the line. So we don't want that same thing to happen as a player to a ref. Like, if Lance is playing, you don't want him to have that same reaction towards a ref because it just sets a bad example and a bad precedent, I feel like, in my opinion. So definitely need a rule book of some sort ASAP.
A lot of people were comparing what Lance did to some of Beasley's actions in season 10. And my only rebuttal to that is nobody walked off and quit. So, like, all right, so if a reaction happens to the action of the sort that Lay did, then there needs to be some sort of accountability in terms of, all right, Lance, maybe we need to, you know what I'm saying, not apologize and be like, yo, bro, my bad, didn't mean to do that, XYZ. But when Beasley was doing what he was doing in season 10, nobody was walking off saying, I quit, F this ish, whatever. So there's nothing to really say to Bees until there is a reaction to that action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can understand if you pull Bees to the side after the entire day is over in season 10, like let's say the time where he was like, put more time on my clock, and he took the ball from he asked for the ball from Meech. He got the ball from a player, and he held the basketballs like this. Like, we not playing until they put more time on the clock.
Right.
But to me, that's not even the same. What's what I'm looking for? The same action what Lance did. Lay had the ball, and he slapped the ball in his hand like, yo, you're cheating. That's two totally different things to me.
I think their interactions prior to that kind of set it up, though, because Lay was already kind of getting fed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On Lay's side, is there anything to comment on Lay's side?
Yes. One thing is I can see how Lance can get upset because it was a missed call. I feel like more so it was a foul than anything. But on Lais side too, though, he ended up coming back and reffing. He was probably fed up. There's a lot more to unfold once day 3 comes around. So I'm not trying to spoil a lot, but I think on Lais side, I don't know. I don't want to say that without spoiling day 3. So that's where I was coming from. So I can't even speak on it. But
I will say this though, there does need to be some more consistency from the refs, from Lay and Meech. Like day 1, we can't have a day 1 like that.
Right.
Like we cannot, and that's the buildup. That's the start of the buildup. The inconsistent calls, the missed calls is a buildup to day 2. So going in Lance's mind, he already thinks they're bad based on how day 1 went. And then also it's a 5-5 series.
Right.
At that moment, I forget, that was a 3-3, right? Yeah, it's a 5-5 series because Twan had just lost the leak. So now it's like, it's a pivotal game in the series. I need every call to be correct. And in my mind, y'all haven't been good. So, I mean, that could be a tipping point for Lance, although he's always on a tipping point.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, there's a lot of people I've been seeing the comments. There's a group of people that think that what Lance is doing is super annoying, and a lot of people that think it's hilarious and entertaining. Yeah. But regardless, he's always towing that line every video, but he's so passionate and into it.
Yeah.
So from a content standpoint, it's like he's so involved in the games, and you got to appreciate what he's bringing to the season and how passionate he is, because he could just sit back like this and not really, bring much energy, but he really does want to win. It's not just from an antic standpoint. It's from like a passionate standpoint. He's trying to coach his players and stuff. So I get both sides of it. I understand if that is too much for you, if that's not your cup of tea, I understand why you're annoyed by Lance this season. I personally think he's hilarious. And I love how involved he is. But back to the Lais situation, of course, I think he could have he shouldn't have done that. I think once you make contact with a ref, that's at any level of basketball is when you're just thrown out and probably suspended a game. Yeah. I mean, like but it's like it's a double-edged sword because he is so passionate. He was towing that line. He went a little too far. We should probably let him know, hey, like a little too far, too far here.
Too much.
Let's not do that. Let's just no contact with the refs next time. But other than that, I do,
I will say after watching the play, though, I do think he fouled Lato. I'm gonna lie. 2 free throws.
2 free throws. It wasn't a clean swipe.
I think he hit wrist.
Did he get some body? I thought he kind of like.
He might have gotten with the shoulder.
Yeah.
On the way through there.
No, but all right, hold on. Put yourself in Lay's shoes right there. How would we react? All things considered. I'm not talking about the calls. I'm saying, okay, we've been getting chirped at for a while now. We're starting to wear down. He swipes at a ball. How do you think? If you could answer, you can.
I mean, the reason why I can't tell you is because I almost flashed out of a cough drops.
Right.
So I can't tell you if I'm in Lai's position. It's constant. Like,
Right.
yo, and then like somebody slaps the ball. I can't tell you how I will react.
Right.
That's why I think there needs to be. Listen, y'all know this about me. I need black and white. I need it. Like, and that's why there needs to be a rule book, because if I could tech Lance and there could be 2 free throws, 3 free throws, and loss of possession, then I know how to control myself in that situation because I have more power. But I feel like Lai feels like he has zero power in the situation. So now, all right, bro, you know what, bro? Y'all don't want to tell him nothing. Y'all just gonna look at me for, all right, bet I'm out of here.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He was hopeless. He was hopeless at that point. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to maintain his authority in the game, because no matter what way you cut it, refs need to have authority in the game. Like, they need to be able to dish out a punishment if, you know what I'm saying? In the NBA, they can tech you. If you talk some more, tech you twice. And we might fine you on top of that. There's repercussions. So that's the tough part about this space, is we don't really have repercussions. Because we're not going to fine anybody. You know,
and I think too, there's a sense of pride as a man. Like, I think Lai probably felt like disrespected, and all men handle situations differently. So I think there's no really right or wrong answer to how he handled it, because at the end of the day, he's his own person, he's his own man. So for someone to speculate and say, well, he should have did X, Y, and Z, he shouldn't have did X, Y, and Z, I'm like,
I can't tell you.
It's hard for us to say because we're not in his shoes. And in that moment, I would like to think, I would like to collect myself and, get back out there. But who knows how we would react? You know what I'm saying? When you're in the fire like that and tempers are flaring, you don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we saw a multitude of things happen all 3 days that we've never witnessed before. And I think that's what makes it so unique, is because there is no script, there's no rhyme or reason as to why things happen. They just happen organically sometimes. And that's why I think day 3 was very, very interesting. And I'm excited to see the reality episode leading into the first game, because I really want to see how that trickles down and how that goes.
Fellas, another point I want to make to y'all, I want to see how y'all feel about this. There was an episode, action that happened even before the Lance thing. Cam So Smooth felt like calls should have been made, and Lai was like, him and Lai went back and forth for a few, and I thought he tech Cam up, but he didn't. I just think it was an extreme buildup, and Lai is standing by that particular side the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, fellas. I don't know, but I think that Cam episode, like what happened there right before Lance did what he did, I think that played a huge factor too.
I think, to break it down in full, it's like they're wearing you down, and then when you want to give out some kind of repercussion, you can't. He felt hopeless because there was no bottom line to that. And that's why he reacted the way he did. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really fault Lai. Do I think it requires a high level of stoicism and self-control to be a ref? Yes. But in this specific case, we can't be too critical of that because there's no way for him to respond. So he felt hopeless. So, I think I guess a lot of people are behind Lai in this situation, though. So hopefully he feels that support. I mean, we're with him. We're not against Lance. I'm not against Lance. I think he's hilarious. I think he just went a little too far. I'm not perfect. I'm not judging Lance for this situation, but I also, want to support Lai and Beach.
Two things I want to bring up. One, the first part is I want fans to understand that there's 2 separate things in terms of Lance. We love his passion for the game and how he's approached this season completely. But that passion is separate from that particular action. I disagree, and I'm pretty sure you guys disagree with that particular action. Those two things are totally separate. And another thing is, I want to ask both of you guys is, how do you guys feel about some people saying that we should have stepped in?
So do you want to tee off, or?
Yeah, I'll start. I think at that time, that's not really our job. We're involved in a whole conversation leading up to it. And then it happens, we're kind of sitting there like, oh damn. So for them to say we should have stepped in, I think personally, in that moment, it was above our pay grade.
Yeah.
I'm being really honest. I was like, so we got to be commentators, and we got to be like security executioner. I'm like, the judges. We got to be every day. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, in my mind, somebody said that.
Oh man!
Oh boy, everybody's like, y'all should have ABC. Y'all should have said something. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I think maybe they look at ABC as like we're like owners in TNC, which is not the case. So like, I wasn't even thinking of that in that moment, and I think it would have if a fight breaks out, I'm gonna help, right? Then I become a human, and I'm gonna separate a fight anywhere I'm at, like as a human. Like I'm just gonna try to, de-escalate that. But the situation that it was, I think it would have been weird if like we tried to talk to Lance. You know what I'm saying? Just I don't think we're a part of the game in that way. And I also don't think that we are like the authority in that gym at that time. So I just don't think I'm not mad at the take because maybe we're perceived in a way that we should step in, but it wasn't even in my mind. And I don't even know that we should.
Yeah.
Genuine question. Should we have? I don't know.
I don't believe so, because in that particular moment, I don't want to react. In that particular instance, the way everything was going down, I didn't want to appear as if I was choosing sides. If you understand what I'm saying. So if no fight is about to break out, I kind of want to see things occur. And then once the video comes out, make an accurate take on what's happening, who could be right, who could be wrong, etc. But I don't want to appear to be like, oh, he got Lais Side, not Lance. Oh, he got Lance Side, not Lais. It's like, hold on, take a step back. They're not fighting.
Right.
Lais walked away from the situation. So let's see what occurs. And then once everything settles down, make it accurate, statement or depiction of what occurred, and then see who was right, who was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Last thing I'm gonna say is I remember when they stopped recording, I think I walked over to Lais, and there was that, like, you felt the tension of like he didn't want to be approached. So I was like, actually, let me just go ahead and reverse and go sit back down. And I was like, this isn't my business at this time. So I was just like, let me go sit back down to ABC crew, because I just wanted to hear like what was going on. I was like, ooh, this is bad vibes right now. Let me go ahead and turn right back around.
Back to my seat.
You're right back to my
that's
seat.
so awkward when you're walking over to something and you feel the tension.
Oh.
And the turnaround is very awkward, and then it's
so awkward. You're kind of like, because mind you, the walk from where he was sitting to where we are,
it's pretty long.
It's a long walk.
It's an open
and
court.
It's a straight walk to him. He can look at you the whole time while you walk.
And they definitely saw you walking up on him, so and then turn around.
I was like, I was trying to do my reporter duties, but I'm out this one.